Hey class, so today we're going to talk about rounding, just a little bit of review because, we haven't seen it in a little while, and you have done this before. You did a little bit in third grade, definitely did in fourth grade with estimation. You also did it in fifth grade. The important thing about rounding is sometimes you can do a lot of good math, do all the correct math, and at the end it says round to the nearest tens, or round to the nearest hundreds, or tenths, or hundredths, right? And if you don't do that correctly, you get the whole problem wrong. So, it's very important that you know how to round and you round correctly, okay? So here we go. All right, so first off, we're going to write down the rules, and then we're going to go ahead and start doing examples. So here we go. Rounding. Okay, it says rounding. And the first rule is this: you got to have these two rules memorized to do this well, okay? So the first one is 4, and you've heard these before. 4 or less, let it rest. Okay? 4 or less, let it rest. 4 or less, let it rest. The next one is 5 or more, raise the score. Okay, just a way to remember it, easy way to remember it, right? 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, raise the score. Okay, those are the two rounding rules. Okay, you need to have those memorized. Okay. Okay, all right, here we go. We're going to pause it. We should have paused the video there. Here we go. All right, now the rounding steps. There's 3 steps. Step 1. Step 1, find the place value that you are rounding to. So find the place value that you are rounding to. Okay, you should be writing all this down, by the way. Find the place value that you are rounding to. Step 2. Okay, step 2. Look one place value to the right. Okay, look one place value to the right. Okay, that's your second step. Okay, look one place value to the right. Okay, should we write this down? And then the last final step, follow the rounding rules. Okay, that's the next step. So these are the 3 steps. You want to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and pause the video here so that you have time to write these down if you haven't already. Step 1, find the place value that you're rounding. Step number 1. Step 2, look one place value to the right. Step 3, follow the rounding rules. These are the steps that we're going to use in these examples that are coming up. All right. Here we go. Example number 1. Our first example. First example says round 23 to the nearest tens place. Okay, round 23, the number 23 to the nearest tens place. So, first thing is, we identify what place value we're rounding to, the tens place. Now, I draw my number very big here, 23. Now, 2 is in the tens place. That's what we identify as step number 1. Step number 1, what are you rounding to? And then step number 2 says look one place value to the right. This is the ones place. Then we follow the rounding rules. The number 3, is it 4 or less or 5 or more? It's 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest. What that means is we're going to let 2 rest, right? And everything after that's going to become 0. So our answer is going to be 20. Pause. Okay, now let's go to our next example. Example number 2. Example number 2 is round 450 to the nearest hundredths place. Okay? Round 450 to the nearest hundred. Number 1. So first we write this out, and then step number 1 says identify what you're rounding to. We're rounding to the hundredth place. So we're going to put an arrow where the 4 is because that is the hundredths place. This is the hundredths place. 4 is the hundredths place. 5 is the tens place. And that 0 is in the ones place. So step number 2, right? Look one place value to the right. We're looking to the right at the 5. Is this 4 or more, 4 or less, or is this 5 or more? Is it 4 or less or 5 or more? Well, this is 5 or more, so we're going to raise the 4. We're going to raise the score, raise this number 4 to a 5. So our answer is equal to 5, and we're going to let all these rest to 0. 0. And our answer is 500. Pause. All right, here we go. With example number 3. Example number 3. We're gonna get into decimals now, so it's gonna get a little weird. It's okay. Round 37.53 to the nearest 10. Notice I'm talking like a snake, right? The TH at the end is the tens place. So we're going to go ahead and write our number big, 37.53, okay? Now remember, this is the tens place. This is the ones place. This after the decimal is the tenths, and that's the place value we want to focus on. The tenths with the THS at the end. And this is the hundredths place. So remember, step 1, identify our place value. Step 2 is look one place value to the right. Step 3 is to use our rules. Is this 4 or less or 5 or more? What's 4 or less? So we're going to let the 5 rest, and we're going to place everything 0 after that. So the answer is equal to 37.50. You could have also just left it as 37.5. Pause. All right, we're going to do one more example. One more example. We're going to round. Let's do number 4. Round 59.84 to the nearest, well, let's do it like this because we've been talking about these. Round 59.84 to the nearest whole number. Or you can say ones place, okay? So round 59.84 to the nearest whole number, or the ones place. So let's go ahead and write our number out. 59.84. Step 1, identify the ones place, or the whole numbers place. That's this one right here. This is the ones place, okay? So we got 9. Now, step 2 says, look, one place value to the right. This is an 8. Is this 4 or less, or 5 or more? 5 or more, right? So we're going to raise the 9. The 9 is going to become a 10. Therefore, we're going to have to put a 0 here in place of the 9, and we're going to have to carry that 1. So 1 plus 5 is 6. So our answer we're going to put the 6 there, and everything's going to turn to 0. 0.00. So our answer is 60, or 60.00. Okay? And so this is our little mini lesson on rounding. Thanks for watching, guys.